Hello, welcome back to my channel. You're watching the Desiree Creations and I'm Danita Simpson, the chief designer here. So let's get into making our jacket. This is a special project, a highly anticipated project. A lot of you in the comments the last time were like, I can't wait to see the jacket, so here we go. So I wanted to kind of go step by step, and if you see me looking down, it's because I have my iPad and I've jotted some notes down just to make sure that I'm not missing anything, okay? So when you're going to create a garment or a piece or a design, there's certain things that obviously you need to make sure that it's executed properly. We're making a jacket, right? I'm going to show you the picture of the jacket that we're making, and then we're going to talk it through. So the first thing I want to do is make sure I have my materials. Obviously, we know the color of the jacket, so we need to get the yarns for those colors. So we went to Michael's, as you saw in the last clip, and we got our black, red, green, and gold yarn. And I also had zipper already. I know I'll be using a zipper for closure in front. So I had two zippers. I had two black zippers, but one has like a gold metal detail and the other has a silver metal detail. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use, and as a matter of fact, both of them are 24 inches. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be using it because it might be too small, but we will see once we get to the end of it if I need to buy a different one. But I'm going to lay out everything so you can see my yarns, my needles, my scissors, my tape measure. And speaking of tape measure, I also need to get measurements, right? So typically when I'm working for a client, I would either have them send me their size, or I'll tell them what measurements I need and they'll get their tailor to get their measurements and send them over to me. In this case, I am lucky enough to have my son that I can use to get some measurements from him because they're typically the same size. So I'm going to show you as well of me just taking the measurements that I need for this design, and I write them down into my trusty dusty order book. My sister made this for me, and it just has details about the order, the client I'm working with, the order that is needed, and then I have notes, a space for notes that has like measurements or any special instructions or requests from the client, so I can put it in there. So I took my son's measurements, so we have the measurements, we have the materials, and now we need to work on the design. Now I can easily just use the picture of what I have before, but the picture isn't as clear. I remember it, so I drew it. And so I'll actually show you, but I think I'm going to insert a clip of me actually drawing the design. So this is what it turned out to be. I really love this iPad because it gives me an ability to really sketch things. So I was able to put the color to give me a markup of where I want things to be. So if I wanted to do the colors in a different arrangement, I could do that if I don't feel like this arrangement is good. But I feel like the way how this looks really nice. So this is really the markup of what we're going to be doing. So once we have our materials, we have our measurements, we have our design in front of us, we really can go ahead and start. So I'm going to give you a challenge, or I'm going to do a fun little competition, or I don't even know what to call it. But how long do you think this jacket is going to take me to make? I'm going to be documenting each and every hour that I spent making this jacket. And at the end of making the jacket, I'll reveal to you how much time. But in this video, under these comments, I want you to tell me, do you think it will take me a total of 48 hours, 64 hours, whatever number you throw out there to complete the jacket? And whoever guesses the time accurately will win a special prize from me. So stay tuned for that and drop the comments below. Now let us get into working on our jacket. Now we're going to need to map out exactly how we're going to start making this jacket. Do we start with the sleeves? Do we start with the collar? Do we start with the base? For me, I'm going to be starting with the torso, like the underarm area. Not so much the chest. I'm going to just start off very simple. And you would have remembered when I was making the vest how I did that. It's pretty much the same idea. So I start with the underarm hair around the torso area. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to remember that we're looking at our pattern, so we're going to know which colors, how many of each rows of colors. We really have to systematically do this. The measurements I took are going to be a guide. I'm going to be using kind of like a hoodie in the size medium, which is the client's measurement. I'm going to be using that also just to kind of guide me throughout how long or how many rows of colors I want to make sure that I get an even distribution. Enough talking. Thanks so much for watching so far, and let's get into it. All right. So we have completed the first bit of our jacket. I started off with the green and I did 4 rows of double crochet. When I mapped it out, the length from underarm to the waist or to the end of the garment is about 18 inches, and we have 4 different colors to play with. So I figured 4 of each of the colors in between and then the rest with black would be perfect. So that's what I'm doing. I will give you a little hint. Remember to drop a comment and tell me how long you think this jacket is going to take. But I will give you a little clue so you can work the math in your head. This took me, I started at 224 and ended at 252. So it took me almost 30 minutes to do this part. So do with that what you will. Maybe I gave it away, but remember we have the rest of the bodice, the shoulder, the sleeves, a collar. So we need to know how many hours that's going to take me. I'm going to stop here for now. I'll keep working, but I'm going to cut the video here. Next week, I'll show you where we are. Who knows? Maybe I'll be finished by then. Maybe I won't. We will see. But thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep your fingers moving. Bye.